Hello, Power Up Nation. I am Pat Council, and I want to talk about taking the burden out of exercising. So I'm still on my fitness kick, and there are times when I don't want to do the same exercises because I'm thinking to myself, this is so boring. And while I don't mind exercising, I just like to change things up a bit. So I want to share how you can take the burden out of exercising. So if you're listening to this and you say, you know what, I need to exercise, and you actually don't exercise, then maybe today's podcast will help you get on track. As you guys know, last Tuesday, I had Angela Franklin, the founder of Freedom Yoga with Angela Franklin, and she shared some really great tips for about yoga. And that's kind of one of the exercises that you can do that will really benefit your body, but there are several others as well. The object of the game is to make sure, well, that you try something new so that you're not so bored. So let's get into this and talk a little bit about taking the burden out of exercising. And of course, the key is to find exercises that benefit your body, but that you're also excited about. So when you're excited about doing something, you can't wait to do it, or you'll continue to do it and you'll stay the course. And so that's one of the things that for me, that I have to do. Sometimes it's go for a walk. Sometimes it's do aerobics. Pretty much always doing weights, but that's always included not always, but several days a week. It's included, but the other side to that is it can be the barbells or dumbbells, as we used to call them, or kettlebells, because those are weights also. And so there are different types of weights that you can use so that you can build muscle, different things that you can do. So you have to decide, but that exercise should benefit your body and keep you excited. So the thing about this is you go, well, how do I decide what to do? You want to perhaps start with redefining what exercising means to you, and also what it looks like to you. It's not just about always going to the gym. Now, granted, going to the gym, you can get the workout over with, because they have everything pretty much that you need there. However, as opposed to, let's say, getting on the treadmill, and being indoors, I prefer to walk outside and get some sun. So that's more fun for me. And I can spend time thinking, and it just feels better. However, there are times when I just want to get on the treadmill and work it out. Okay, just get it over with, be done with it, get my weights done. And usually those are the days that I'm getting my weights in. It's where I, go to the gym. And I don't necessarily have to go to the gym because I actually have weights at my house, and also have a treadmill as well. But there are times when I want to switch it up, change it up, do something different, and which means, having a change of scenery. So when you redefine what exercise means to you, or define it, or then you're going to make better choices, and you're going to be more excited about staying on track. And so I would suggest that you perhaps write down, and this is one of the things that I'm finding that works really well for me, is that I write down the types of exercises or workouts I'm going to do throughout the course of the week, and how many days I'm going to do what. And as a result, I don't have to spend time trying to figure out, okay, do I want to change it up today, change it up tomorrow? Now, you do what works for you, because sometimes you can just remind yourself that, you know what, I'm going to work out tomorrow, and I'm going to ride a bike. I'm going to ride my bike. So you can come up with different things that you're going to do, because that's your cardio day. Okay. And so the thing is the reason why I write everything down, or I like writing it down, it keeps me on track. Okay. But I change it up so that exercise is not a burden. So the first thing is to choose exercise that benefits your body and excites your mind. And you do this by redefining what exercise means to you. The second one is you want to set a realistic goal. Sometimes we overdo it because we get really excited about getting into shape, and we go, okay, you know what? We wake up, we're gung-ho, we get out there and go, I'm going to walk 5 miles. Well, if you're not accustomed to doing that kind of exercising, then perhaps you want to set a more realistic goal. You want to set goals that match your current ability. So if you're just starting out, this might mean instead of going 5 miles, it might mean going for a 15-minute walk each day rather than saying, you know what, I'm just going to jump right out there and run a 5K. Now, 5K, that's 3 miles and some change. However, you can decide. Your body will tell you what to do. And you know, if you haven't been exercising, that you don't want to get out there and overdo it. You want to set achievable benchmarks that will provide a sense of accomplishment, though. So in other words, you don't want to start out walking, let's say, for 15 minutes and do that for the next 6 months. Okay, you want to set benchmarks. Okay, I'm going to do 15 minutes. I don't know, perhaps 3 days or a week. And then next week I'm going to go to 25 minutes, or however you want to actually do that. So that's something that you want to consider. Now, of course, for me, I haven't run a 5K in a while. So when I got back into exercising and said, okay, it's really time for you to get back into shape. So one of the things that I did was instead of running, I would walk. I walked for the first week. Then I started doing a run walk. But 15 minutes, I can, walk a lot longer than that. So I would do a 45-minute to an hour walk. And then the next week it went to, I started measuring it in terms of miles. So then it went to 2 miles, and then 2.5 miles. And of course, it will continue to go up. I've continued to set those benchmarks. So you want to set those kinds of benchmarks, and it's going to excite you. This takes the burden out of exercising. It fuels your desire to continue with it, to keep progressing. And also, when you take your time and you set these realistic goals, you also prevent yourself from burning out, and you prevent yourself from injury or feeling so sore until you have to kind of roll out of the bed and, because you're too stiff and sore, hit the floor. Okay, none of you hit the floor, right? Of course not. But the thing is that you really want to set those realistic goals. Number 3, and this is my final point, is that you really want to embrace variety. Now, I talked about redefining exercising and doing something very different, but it's important that you take the time to pay attention to what your body is telling you. Okay, pay attention to your body, and if you start to get bored, then change to a different workout. Sometimes it's good to try something new each week, and that something new can be an aerobics class. It can be you can have a workout app and you can follow that workout app. It can be if you have workout equipment in your home. It could be that. It could be, the row machine. And so it could be a lot of different things. But that's one of the beautiful parts about writing things down and writing your workouts, writing it out. And writing your workouts down and planning them so that you can decide, okay, I'm only going to do this for 3 days and then I'm going to switch it up a bit. Okay, so, and I mentioned some of the others, like, riding a bike. I talked about yoga or Angela Franklin, Freedom Yoga with Angela Franklin. That might be something new. If you've never tried that, I can tell you it's good for your body, especially if you're not a person who's accustomed to kind of stretching at all. And I think it's good to stretch it out, no matter, you can do the cardio, you can do the weights, but stretching, I promise you, it will benefit you a great deal, which, by the way, as I said, she was a guest on our podcast last week. And so I'll put that link in the show notes in case you want to listen to it. It's called Finding Your Energetic Workout. So I'll put that link in the show notes, and you can hear what Angela had to share about yoga. And you can decide if you want to go to her website, which is freedomyogawithangelafranklin.com. So you can go there, and because she has a free class, and so she has some goodies there for you. You can go there and check it out. And see, that's the thing. You really want to experiment. So in order for you to embrace variety, you have to be open-minded in terms of saying, you know what, I'm not going to do the same thing over and over and over, because when you get bored, what happens is you stop exercising, you stop working out. So make that commitment to yourself and do your homework and start trying some new things. I mean, there's Pilates, which I have to admit, Pilates is very good. And if you really want to sweat, it's good. And I have to go back to the yoga thing. You know, I never thought I would sweat a lot, but yoga makes you sweat too. So this is the beautiful part about all of this. And this keeps you from becoming bored, and it takes the burden out of exercising. So try something new, perhaps each week, and keep the routines fresh. Again, so that kind of keeps the boredom away. And here's an extra bonus, that when you're trying something new or different, you get to actually work out muscles that you probably didn't know you had, or that you want to bring alive. And I can attest to that. I can tell you, sometimes I like dancing as well. And I always thought, okay, if you run, that's good cardio and you're good to go. And you get that, you're working out your muscles. But one of the things that I found out, and of course, a former dancer, you could do, I guess, freestyle, but also you can do the aerobics, as I mentioned. But one of the things that I found out is this, while this is all cardio, I hadn't done aerobics or dancing in a while. And I can remember, and I was doing the running, doing the 5Ks and practicing and getting ready for all of that. And then what happened was, when I danced and did the aerobics, and then I did some, freestyle dancing and things like that, the next day I was sore. I was very surprised. So you can actually give your body a really good workout, and you can work some new muscles, and it's all going to lead you to the kind of fitness that you're looking for. And you don't have to worry about, okay, how do I know when I want to switch to something new? How do I know if I should switch to something new? Again, when you plan your workouts, that's going to give you some insight. The other thing, and that's the beauty of AI, artificial intelligence these days, is that you can tap into one of those programs, and you can actually have it plan a workout for you, and you can actually tell it to plan different types of workouts for you. And that's going to help you make it a lot easier for you. Now, I have to say this, and there was, what's the comedian? Jerry Seinfeld, and he was talking about artificial intelligence. And there's nothing wrong with using it. I use it. However, when it comes to planning my workouts, when it comes to learning more about what works for me, I don't let AI plan my workouts. Now, you have to do what works for you. Whatever it takes for you not to feel like working out is a burden, by all means do it. So this is just my personal thought process about this. I plan my own workouts. Actually, books are still a thing. And so I will look at certain workouts. I'll go online and look up workouts, of course. And then I'll decide what is it, which ones would I like to do? Which ones would I like to try? I go to the gym. I'll go to different aerobics classes. That's how I know about Pilates and how it can make you sweat, and yoga, which was something I had never tried or hadn't. Well, I'm going to say, I'm not going to say never, because I had tried it once years ago, and I hadn't tried it since. But once I tried it again, and I use some of what Angela had recommended so that my shoulder wouldn't hurt so much, and it took the pain away. But also with stretching and doing the different moves, I realized, wait, this is a workout as well, and it's going to make me sweat. Now, of course, again, I sweat a lot when I get on a treadmill, which is kind of new. I'm like, okay, I'm revving up my metabolism, which is a good thing. So I'm sharing all of this with you because it's up to you if you want AI to plan your workouts. But what I'm saying is get to know you, spend time with you, and decide what really works for you. Your mind and your body will tell you, number one, when it's getting bored. Number two, when you need to switch it up. So spend time getting to know you and making that connection with you. I think that's a really good part of what we call self-care today. That's one of the areas of self-care. But we'll probably talk about some of the others later. But right now we're talking about exercising and staying fit. And I have to admit to you guys that when you switch things up a bit, I think you'll stay on track and you'll stick with it more. And of course, I've shared this before when I was doing the Tone It Up Tuesdays. One of the things I shared is, now, if you talk yourself out of exercising by complaining before you get started, it's not going to happen. And I make sure I stay on track by switching up, by doing things that I'm excited about, and I feel good when I'm finished. And one of the things, I have a little workout calendar, and so I put a little circle around it, and or that day showing that I worked out. And then when I can go back and look, wow, I have worked out all of these days. Now, sometimes I take one day off, okay, and then I get back to it. And the one day that I take off, I count it as a day off, but it's what I call light walking. There's no intense exercising. It's just going out and getting some sun. But so I count that as kind of my day off. So I don't put a circle around that day on the calendar. But on my workout calendar, it looks so good when I can go back and I can see, wow, I have not missed a day. And so if I find myself getting bored, which I can tell you, I'll get bored with the treadmill fairly easily. Then there's the elliptical machine that I love to get on, and sometimes I get bored with that. So then I start to switch it up. So I think you guys get the picture. So number one, redefine your exercise. Get an exercise that benefits your body, but also you're excited about. Number two, set a realistic goal. And of course, number three, be sure to embrace variety and pay attention to that variety by planning it, writing it down, having it in front of you. And you've got to pep yourself up. Okay. That takes the burden out of everything. A lot of times burden comes from the mind. We're already talking ourselves out of doing something, or telling ourselves how boring something is, or how awful something is, or what a waste of time it is. And you have to kind of tell yourself, wow, this is exciting. I'm getting more healthy. I'm getting stronger. And boy, am I looking good. So you want to tell yourself these kinds of things. So it doesn't matter where you're starting. If you're starting on day one, then you know what? That's what you want to tell yourself when you get up on day two to go and do your workout. Boy, am I looking good. Boy, am I excited about whatever. Just don't talk yourself out of it. Listen, you guys, that is all I have for you. This is the beginning of July. So we're going to be talking about, and I couldn't resist, you guys, the theme in the name of freedom. So we're going to talk about different aspects of freedom, relationships, your mindset, your finances. We're going to talk about all of that this month. And I think I wanted to talk about that, not just because Independence Day is in July, but I also wanted to talk about that because I think it's important that we understand how powerful we really are and some of the things that we have to do to kind of claim that freedom. So in the name of freedom is what it's all about. And so when we connect with ourselves and we start to get a clearer picture of what that means, okay, and that it has nothing to do with Washington, D.C., okay, because no human being can give you your freedom, okay, and we'll talk about that another day. Freedom comes from God, okay, so with that being said, this is how you take the burden out of exercising. Oh, and let me throw in one last point. And this was not one of my main points, but I just thought of this one. Accountability partner or somebody who's kind of fun, not somebody who's going to like bug you about working out and give you a hard time. Well, that just sucks the fun right out of it because this is one adult talking to another adult as though one of you is a child. And that's not what it's about. This is about you pepping each other up. This is about you inspiring each other. And this is about you saying positive things to each other and asking questions that, will empower a person if they miss a workout and say, okay, so you missed your workout on Tuesday. So when is the next workout? What are you going to do to get back to it? When would you, and what will that workout be? All right. And then if whatever they tell you, say great. Okay. Because we have to make the decision about our own bodies and no one should ever have to push another adult to take care of themselves. Okay. So with that being said, and I don't have time to go into all of that. I know there's more to it than that, but the reality of it is if you really want to be healthy, make the decision that you're going to take responsibility, get yourself an accountability partner, which is more of make it a fun thing and start to make some great things happen. This is how we really ignite more of our power. Remember the 4 power cores: mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional. So this is how we kind of ignite our physical power cores. So with that being said, I want you guys to have a magnificent day and do life with power because you're built by design to win.